Oh, come on, don't let the Discovery be corrupted like everything else. Ah, there we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to Groove Builders, the show where we create together. I'm your host, Disorderly Cone, and in this episode, we're going to be building our second space shuttle here on the show, the Space Shuttle Discovery. And I'm actually very excited to see how this one stacks up against the Enterprise. Groove Builders, let's get down to the workbench and take a look at our model.
Groove Builders, welcome to the workbench. We have our Metal Earth Space Shuttle Discovery here in some classic Fascinations packaging. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back. On the back, we get a brief look at our model. Then to the right here, we have a QR code which we can scan to get a 360 view of it as we're building. Then just below, we have a brief history on the Space Shuttle Discovery, and at the bottom here, we get a look at some other models in the series. Groovers, let's go ahead and open up our package. We have our instructions, and we have our metal. Looks very similar to our last shuttle. Groovers, let's get building. And just like that, we have all of our parts needed to build the Space Shuttle Discovery. Let's get started with part number one here, which is our main part. And because this one here is going to be bent into a cylinder, we're going to use a shaping tool here to get us the best shape possible. A little bit more. Where's the tool? There we go. This guy here gives me a little bit of a nicer, sharper angle there. I like that. Okay. Now, I might go back and bend this a little bit more as time goes on, but I'm really liking the shaping so far. Let's bend these tabs down. Okay, pretty awesome. I like this. Let's grab our little nose piece here. Now, our nose piece has a slight little bend in it too. Not a crazy one. I'm going to just bend it a little bit with my fingers. Line it up a little bit, and then I'm going to use the metal here to help me shape it. All right, not too bad. Let's continue on with our back piece here. Now, these little small bits of detail, it's very important to make sure that you have the proper tools to get the right shape. Trick to these is to actually bend the tab upward first and use it as a lock. It goes in so much easier. All right, that's one down. A few more to go here. That's our two pieces for part number 4. Now we need part number 5. One down. All right, that's our last cylinder formed. Now let's attach them all to part number 3. Our big ones go on the bottom, our two smaller ones go on top. All right, that is our last cylinder attached to part number 3. Now we need to move on to parts 6 and 7. Pretty happy with the shape, although I feel like this is the part that's attached, right? Yeah, it's the part that's attached. There's a little bit of a weird thing there. Here's our, grab our part number 7. Do the same thing with the other side here. And there we go. Our last little booster here. Now we can move on to attaching them to part number 3 like we've done with our last couple of cylinders. Again, making sure that we put all of our tabs here that we have exposed along the back facing down. We don't want to see this. And there we go. All of our boosters are nice and secure. Now we need to work on the top portion of 8 and 9. One thing to remember when you're assembling this back area here, you don't want to actually bend this all the way. You don't want them to touch. In a lot of other builds, they touch, not in this build here. And the reason why we know this here is because we have a 2 and 1 tab there. Very important. Just going to bend this down a little bit, make sure that was the right side. Should have double checked before I bent it. And now looking at the instructions, ensuring that I'm placing it on the right way, which I am. I'm bringing it in for, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That was almost a horrible story. Look at these 2 massive burrs. I do have to get new clippers. That's bad. Let's attach this before we lose something. And now we're going to secure it with some twists. There we go. 8 and 9 all together. Now we got to attach it back onto 3 here. Again, making sure that we're attaching this on the correct way. Okay, there we go. That looks really good. Now we need to shape part number 10, and unlike last time, we're going to do it a little bit differently. Instead of bending this down, we're going to bend this up, and that should take away any lip along the bottom, which is often a complaint with these models. I really want this to be as 90 as possible because I really want the finish to be nice. I'm really happy with the shape we have here. So we attach the stand. Looking pretty sweet. Now we attach our fuselage and all of our other parts together. My audio is going to be a bit of a mess for this video. I'm a little bit further away from my microphone than I am normally. And I think I'm going to have to do some clever audio work to get my voice to sound decent. Now we have to attach our last piece here onto our base. And with this little piece now being inserted inside, it could be a little tricky. I hate that sound because that sound is, oh no, careful, US flag, don't scratch flag. Oh, shoot a monkey. You know what I did? I squished that tab there, so I'm gonna have to flatten that tab back out and work it out. And just like that, we have the Space Shuttle Discovery.
And there you go, Groove Builders, the Space Shuttle Discovery in all of its Metal Earth glory. And I have to admit, I did have my fun with this build, especially because it was my first live stream build on Instagram. Groove Builders, if you're looking to build this at home, there are a few things you're going to want to know. Let's talk about those things in construction. For my first point, I want to talk about the shaping here along the rooftop for the Space Shuttle Discovery. Now, for the most part, this is pretty easy to shape. It's just a half cylinder, but I do recommend using something around your home to help you get that shape and not just use your tweezers. If you do just use your tweezers, you may not be too impressed with the results. For my second point, I want to talk about these boosters here along the back. This is arguably the hardest part of the entire build, and there's something you can do to make it a little bit easier. My recommendation is to bend the tabs down 90 degrees, and then once you're very close to the insertion hole, all you want to do is press them down. This should lock them into place, allowing you to secure the tabs and then form these perfect back cylinders. And for my third and final point, I want to talk about this undercarriage. Now, in the past build that we did on the Enterprise, let me show you what that looks like. we had something along the bottom here that looks like a little cap. It goes all the way along the bottom, as you can see, and it leaves a little bit of a gap there at the back. Not very pretty if you ask me. Now, what I did differently this time, based on a recommendation from Brother Al1 over on Reddit, is I stacked this guy inside of itself, making it a lot more sleek. And I really do recommend doing this with your shuttles at home. Just keep in mind, it might be a little bit frustrating trying to get that tab into the insertion hole, but once you do, you'll be very happy with what you have left. And with that being said, Groove Builders, let's move on to build time. The Space Shuttle Discovery from Metal Earth took me just over 1 hour and 30 minutes to build, with the majority of that time being spent fiddling with the live stream software. The actual build itself, though, the majority of my time was actually spent along the back here. I had one mistake where I accidentally broke a piece and had to super glue it, and it looks so good you really can't tell. But I can't believe I broke a little piece on something so simple. I guess I really should have taken my time. And finally, Groove Builders, my thoughts. So, what do I think of the Space Shuttle Discovery from Metal Earth? I really liked it. This build was incredibly straightforward and the instructions were really easy to read. And with the minimal amount of actual shaping that you have to do, I can recommend this for pretty much anybody out there who's looking to get into the metal model world. There are tons of models out there, and if you love space, well, this will be a perfect one to start with. There really isn't too many difficult pieces to form. Although these cylinders can be a little bit tricky, I'm sure you can do it at home pretty easily if you take your time. Now the real question is, how does the Discovery Space Shuttle stack up against the Enterprise? Well, taking a close look at them, I can pretty much say that they are exactly the same, except for a few laser etching details telling me that they are the Enterprise or that they are the Discovery. Now, that being said, Groove Builders, I do wish they would change the look of these space shuttles. I mean, they look nice, don't get me wrong. I just think that the detail along the nose here, and especially the cockpit area, could definitely be improved for future modeling kits out there. Alright, Groove Builders, that brings us to the end of our show. I had a really good time building the Space Shuttle Discovery with you, and if you guys had a good time, don't forget to press that like button. For more videos like this, hit subscribe as well, as we got all kinds of really cool content coming out in the future. Until next time, Groove Builders, keep building. Now to blow this up and make some room in my garage. Woo!